I'm going to show you how to monitor your students' data so you can ensure they're staying on track. The information I'm going to cover can be found on pages 8 through 11 of your teacher guide. To log in to your teacher dashboard, go to login.readingplus.com. Click on the Educator Login button and enter your username and password. Your teacher dashboard looks like this. Your dashboard makes it easy to be fully informed about what your students are accomplishing in Reading Plus. I'm going to review how to use the teacher dashboard to carry out your monitoring and support duties. If you have more than one Reading Plus class, use the drop-down menu at the top left to view each of your classes. On your teacher dashboard, you have access to 3 different widgets, which act like buttons. The widgets take you to the 3 areas of your dashboard. Actions is an extremely important area. By looking at the Actions widget, you can see if any students are struggling in the C-Reader reading program. The Actions widget will also display information when a student has earned a level award or has submitted a writing assignment or a message. From assignments, you can check to ensure that students are completing their weekly assignments. This is also where you can access your individual students' records in order to examine data in depth and make individual setting adjustments. Reports is where you can access a variety of class and student reports. Whenever you log in, always look first at your Actions widget for each of your Reading Plus classes. Use the drop-down menu in the upper left to check for struggling alerts in each of your classes. When you click on Actions, you go directly to the Actions panel. From here, you can see which students need your attention. Note that once you are within a panel, as we are within the Actions panel here, you can access either of the other panels using the widgets to the right. In other words, I could go directly to either reports or assignments from here by simply clicking on either widget. On the Actions panel, any students who need immediate attention are listed at the top. Students with a red triangle have been placed on temporary hold in the C-Reader reading program. A student will be placed on hold in C-Reader if he or she has been earning comprehension scores below 80% for some time. Students who are on hold will not be able to continue working in C-Reader until you clear the alert. Each struggling alert will provide a short description of why the student was put on hold. Click on the student's name to view more details and to release the hold. I'll review this process with you. I can see that Ben Reedon has been temporarily placed on hold due to prolonged comprehension difficulties. I click on Ben's name, and this takes me into Ben's electronic file. I am on the Actions tab of Ben's individual student file. At this point, I can view more details about Ben's struggling alert, and I can also release the hold so that he can continue working in C-Reader. Below the brief analysis of the situation, I can view data records that detail Ben's recent performance in C-Reader. I can see the date and time that Ben read each recent selection, as well as how long it took him to read the selection and answer the 10 comprehension questions. A C-Reader lesson typically takes students an average of 15 minutes to complete, so I want to take a peek at Ben's completion times to ensure that he's close to the average. If I see a small blue R in the upper right of the thumbnail photo, I know that this is a repeat read of an entire text selection. The repeat read is an automated intervention that some students experience if they struggle to earn comprehension scores of 80% or higher in C-Reader. I can also see Ben's silent reading rate in the I-rate or independent format, as well as G-rate or guided format. I can see how many rereads Ben chose to use for each text selection, along with his comprehension score. The reread is different from the repeat read. The reread is a support that allows Ben to go back to the targeted portion of text that contains the answer to a C-Reader comprehension question. I can see that Ben has not been using his available rereads. If he had, he probably could have turned that recent score of 60% into an 80%. Once I have a picture of Ben's performance, I am ready to send off a message that will serve to give Ben some helpful information and will free him to begin working in CReader again. I can either use the pre-populated message that appears here, I can edit the pre-populated message, or I can send one of my own. In this case, I would probably want to remind Ben to use his reread button so that he can earn scores of 80% or higher. The important thing is that I type Ben a message and click Send Message and Clear Action when I am done. After I click Send Message and Clear Action, the information visible on the Actions tab of Ben's file will change. Now I can see a list of all actions pertaining to Ben since the beginning of the year. To go back to the Actions panel where I can see all remaining live actions for all students in the class, I'll click the Actions button at the top left of the screen. As you can see, Ben's struggling alert has disappeared because I just responded to it and cleared it. I can see that Emma and Juan have earned level awards, so I will want to print out their awards and celebrate their success. To print out the award for Juan, I'll click on his name from the Actions panel. I'll click Print Award for Juan to print the award. Then I'll send a congratulatory message to Juan. By sending the message, I'll clear the action. Now I'm ready to view Olivia and Charlotte's writing submissions. I'm going to click on Charlotte's name to view her writing response. I can see that Charlotte submitted writing about the CReader selection Animals That Nobody Loves. To view Charlotte's writing submission, I'll click on the large green button. I can see what Charlotte wrote in response to the prompt. I can also see the entire text of Animals That Nobody Loves on the right. I can choose to print Charlotte's response to review a hard copy of her writing assignment. By clicking on the Comments tab, Charlotte and I can communicate back and forth regarding her writing. After I have reviewed Olivia and Charlotte's writing submissions, I'm ready to respond to James and Brandon's messages. I'll click on Brandon's name to view the message. Brandon has sent me a message letting me know he earned a score of 82% on his recent CReader lesson. This is a great opportunity to give Brandon some positive feedback. I can respond to Brandon's message by typing a congratulatory message in the box. Once the message is sent, I can click the Actions button to return to the Actions panel, or I can click on the Reading Plus logo to return to the home state of my teacher dashboard. At this point, I want to go to the Assignments panel. Within Assignments, there are two very important things I can do. First, I can track the lessons my students are completing in the various instructional programs throughout the week. And second, I can access my individual students' electronic files so that I can view data and make any setting adjustments. Let me show you more. I'm going to click on the Assignments widget to go to the Assignments panel. From here, I can see which students have completed their assignments for the week. The Assignments panel will always display the current week. I can access the views from the previous week by clicking to the left, and I can access the cumulative view for all weeks by clicking the All button to the right. On the Assignments panel, I can view student assignment completion for each program: iBalance, the Visual Skills program; Read Around, the Vocabulary program; and CReader, the Reading program. For iBalance and Read Around, I'll see white and green ticks. White ticks denote lessons that have been assigned to the student but have not yet been completed. Green ticks denote assignments that have been completed. In the CReader column, I'll see white, green, orange, and yellow ticks. Green ticks represent lessons completed with comprehension scores of 80% or higher. 80% or higher comprehension is always the goal. The yellow ticks show you that the student earned a comprehension score between 70 and 79%. He or she didn't quite hit the mark, but it was close. The orange ticks indicate the student completed a CReader lesson but scored below 70%. I can send a message to the entire class after reviewing class-wide assignment completion. I'll click the message icon at the top left to send the message. I can also click on a message icon next to an individual student's name to send a reminder message about makeup lessons, for example. Now I'd like to show you how to open up an individual student's records. From the Assignments panel, I can click on a student's name to enter a student's electronic file. Let's say I want to look more closely into Charlotte Robinson's records. I click on Charlotte's name, and I go directly into Charlotte's assignment data. The system will show me the student's C-Reader data first. The most recent C-Reader data is on the right. Again, I can see data points pertaining to every single C-Reader lesson Charlotte has completed. If I click on either the RA bar or the IB bar, I can access detailed read-around and iBalance data. Once I am within Charlotte's individual file, I can access various tabs. For example, I could see a history of all of the messages Charlotte and I have exchanged back and forth. I can see all action alerts connected to Charlotte's performance, and I can also see Charlotte's writing prompts and completed writing assignments. Her progress graph and her student instructional summary report are also available from here. Now I want to draw your attention to the Settings tab. When I click on Settings, I have access to 4 different Settings buttons on the left. I can see the student's information. This is where I could change Charlotte's username and password. If I click on Instructional Assignments, I can adjust the number of lessons Charlotte is assigned in each of the component programs. For example, I could have the system use Charlotte's Insight assessment results to set her assigned weekly lessons in each component program. I could also set custom assignments for Charlotte in the 3 different programs. For example, I could use the arrows to assign Charlotte 0 iBalance lessons, 4 read-around lessons, and 4 lessons in the C-Reader reading program. Keep in mind that you will have to reset any individual assignment settings if you make any adjustments to your class assignment settings. Class assignment settings always override individual student settings. Remember to click Save anytime you make an adjustment.